Good afternoon. It's July 30th. It's about 2 in the afternoon, and this is After Work. I'm not sure which episode. I think I skipped a couple. But it's not exactly after work. I'm kind of going. I'm out on a bonus round right now. This is work bonus round time. I'm actually going back to revisit one of my patients from today to bring some supplies. I'm bringing a commode and a bedpan and just some other gear that he needed around the house. So I'm doing a little extra driving around, but I don't mind because I didn't have a whole lot else to do today. Not too many visits. I got to follow up with people that I've seen a few times in the past, and they're all doing much better now than they were before, which is great to see. To just kind of see all those interventions kick in and start working. I'm going to be working every day for like the next week or so that's good. I'm getting some hours, getting some shifts from 8 to 4 every day, except for Wednesday when I have my teaching project. The time has actually arrived. It's time to do the thing. And I made all of my handouts. I printed up 20 copies of some handouts that have some articles in them. And in addition to articles related to the case study on withdrawal of artificial nutrition hydration and the article on the withdrawal of anti-dementia medications, I also included the Code of Ethics printed by the American Nurses Association. Unfortunately, I could not print out the Code of Ethics with interpretive statements because the American Nurses Association requires you to purchase for $15. And the PDF file that they have online is locked, so you can't print it out. So I found a school website for a different school, and they had the Code of Ethics with no interpretive statements posted on their website, so I just used that. And then the other thing that I printed out was a section from a pamphlet that we hand out to all of our new admits in home care about your right to make healthcare decisions, about like living wills and advanced directives, power of attorneys, and all of those things. And it's kind of set up like a frequently asked questions guide, like it's set up in terms of like questions that people frequently ask about these issues. And it's very clearly lists a lot of the ins and outs about it, about how like your living will supersedes the power of attorney, which can, I guess, sometimes be somewhat complicated because the power of attorney is the one that's going to sue you if they're not happy with the job that you did. So that's going to be part of the discussion too. So those four things together are going to make up the handout in addition to the case studies. And I keep getting asked by people who very reasonably have been asking me to explain ahead of time what I'm going to say during this in-service. And that's a very difficult thing for me to do because I've always approached things like this, like group presentations or group discussions, by speaking extemporaneously, because that's just how I like to do things. And I understand that's not good enough. That's not good enough for some people. So I've been racking my brains trying to figure out how to present it in an outline format. But what I started doing instead last night was I just had like I did like a mental run through of the teaching activity and just imagined what I would say, and I just imagined what other people would say back to me, and I just started typing it in like a running narrative. And hopefully they don't think I'm being facetious by presenting that to them as, here, this is what I'm going to say. But I really can't think of any other way to do it except to actually do it in like a simulated way, and then present the results of that. So far I'm up to about a single full 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, 12-point font, single spaced, with like a couple of paragraph breaks and stuff. And I think I'm about halfway through. So tonight I'll finish the other half and then put that on the desk of our clinical outreach person along with a copy of the handout. And hopefully that'll do it. And I'm supposed to call somebody from that nursing home on Monday and let them know that it's still a go and I'm going to be there on Wednesday. And then Wednesday I'll do it, 2 o'clock. I'm going to show up and try to do an in-service with a bunch of nurses that are probably just dying to get back to their charting and their actual work. So that will be interesting. But I mean, I would be just as happy and just as confident about the project if I didn't do any preparation at all, and I didn't bring any handouts or anything, and it was just a group of people sitting around talking. I know that's not the ideal learning style for everybody, but since the things that we're talking about are kind of rooted in the kinds of conversations that we have with patients and their families, I really can't think of any examples that I've encountered where ethical decision making at the end of life involves showing a patient a PowerPoint presentation or giving the family a 10-question multiple choice test. I mean, as far as I know, these things just aren't done. I mean, maybe somebody does them, and good for them if they do and it works. That's great. But if someone were to present me with that in real life, I would be a little shocked, and curious and interested in how it worked. So yeah, I'm about halfway through that, and I had a bunch of homework that was due Wednesday this week, but I misread the assignment and I thought it was due Friday, yesterday, and it wasn't due Friday, it was due Wednesday. I did it 2 days late and I submitted it, so hopefully I don't lose too many points for that. And the funny thing is that the homework assignment this week, or the discussion assignment or whatever, was about an ethical case study. In this case, it was about a patient who had end-stage AIDS, and he was starting to get a lot of the opportunistic infections that come along with AIDS when it's in its final stages. And he was in the hospital, and he's on protective isolation, really low quality of life, and he's being kept alive through dialysis because he's in kidney failure. So he gets, dialyzed 3 times a week, but, he can't leave the hospital because of the protective isolation. And, the patient says he wants to stop dialysis, and he wants to know about, what kind of symptoms he'll have as he's dying from renal failure, and asking for information and questions and stuff. But the doctor is afraid of being sued by the patient's Catholic parents. So he institutes, heroic life-saving measures when he develops a cardiac issue, even though he's verbally, asked to be a DNR. And this was a really interesting, writing, discussion writing thing or whatever. What everybody else had to say about it was really interesting, and people had different perspectives because my classmates come from different kinds of nursing and things like that. So it was interesting to see their different takes on it and to respond to it myself. For my assignment, I had to write. Everybody had to write from the point of view of the patient, but I also had to write from the point of view of the physician. And then some people were writing from the point of view of the family or the nurses, and so on and so forth. And then we all respond to each other's responses. So that was kind of cool. And looking ahead, this semester, this 8-week session or whatever has had some pretty interesting assignments, and it's been kind of thought-provoking, and I guess I'm glad that I took it. I'm just excited to move on to classes that involve things that are practically useful to me, like improving my assessment skills and learning more about pharmacology and things like that. Stuff that I started learning about in my previous course of study where I got my RN in the first place. So what else is going on? Project, work. It's really great to be out on the road on the day again, during the day again, on day shift. Because I really enjoy seeing everybody in the office. Yesterday while I was working on my project and printing those runoffs, I spent a good 2 hours in the office, and it was a blast. I got to hang out and socialize and get advice from and be supported by these nurses that I work with, who are just phenomenal. The nurses' aides and the social workers and all those people are just fantastic. So it really kind of gives me a boost when I get to actually see them and spend time with them, because a lot of the time I'm out on the road and I might have to get some advice by phone from them or something, but we're kind of spread out all over the place. So there's a lot of fun stuff going on that I'm not going to get to do because I'm working every day, but that's okay. I need the money. School is expensive. I think it's running me about $1,500 to $3,000 every 8 weeks. But at least I don't have to drive to school or any of that stuff. I wouldn't mind living in a dorm again, actually, but too expensive. That is not a good thing. And then I also just bought this new mattress, which just got delivered yesterday, 2 days ago, I forget. But it's very, very, very comfy. I lost my old mattress, my Temper foam mattress, because the cat peed on it, and I foolishly did not want a mattress pad on the mattress because I thought it ruined like how the foam felt. So cat gets locked in the room, pees on the mattress. I'm now down one $2,500 mattress. But the new one that I got, there was a mix-up with the sizes. The salesman just like invented a number and sold me a product that didn't exist in the first place. So they upgraded me to a queen-size mattress for the same price, which is pretty awesome. Because that means I got a $3,200 mattress for $2,000, which is great. Still kind of inconvenient because I had to delay a couple of bills, and that wiped out the money I was saving up for a new laptop. But no big deal, I guess. I'm still making my school payments and still making rent and phone bill and all that important stuff. So I guess it's not so bad. Well, I guess that's about it for now. I guess after I work tomorrow, I'll have completely finished my narrative for how I imagine my teaching exercise going. And I think it would probably be too long for me to read to you, but I'll post it online or something, But until then, I hope you're staying out of the sun and having a good, having a good weekend. Yeah, that's it. Have a good weekend.